anything that you need for yin that you have around, feel free to bring close by. I will just be using a thick blanket to sit upon during our seated meditation. I'll give you a moment to gather those things. Or if you need more than that, go ahead and just pause the video. Meet us back here on your mat. Sitting comfortably on a cushion or a folded up blanket. We practice meditation at the beginning of the practice so that we may settle our minds a little bit. Also, saving meditation for after the asana might not always be the best way to ensure that you accomplish your meditation. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, lengthen through the back of the neck. Bring awareness to your breath. Allowing you to move freely in and out through the nose. The cheeks are soft, the belly is soft. The eyelids are heavy. The eyes may even be closed completely. Inhaling, we bring cool, new oxygen into the body and the blood. Exhaling, we release the warm energy, carbon dioxide. We have this wonderful exchange with plants. Even take a moment to appreciate the plants around you in your mind right now. All the living things that help support life as a human being. Settling into the body, we are able to regulate the thoughts with breath. and practice. Bring your hands together, Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Forearms create a parallel line with the mat beneath you. Here's that intention for practice. Seal it with a smile. Inhale your arms straight up overhead. And relax your hands back down onto your knees. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders back. And exhale, curl your right shoulder towards your left knee. And come back to center and make it to the other side, left shoulder to right knee. Inhale, center, right to left, and so on, just sort of beginning to really explore the space between the shoulder blade and the hips, opening up a lot of space, even between the shoulder blades here. Don't expect the shoulders to come down to the knee. In fact, that might be too much, so don't even try to get it down there. Start to observe your mobility. We just begin to warm up the torso. Come back up to center and just start to stir the pot. So from the space above the hips, we just sort of circle the torso around the hips. So imagine your pelvis as a bowl. You're taking a wooden spoon, which is your torso. Just stirring around the edges of that bowl. Now change direction. Remembering to let go of any sense of expectation, judgment, labeling. Just sort of use this practice to observe the self. Stop center. Send your arms out long, bringing the hands to the edges of the knees, and then exhale, bring your chin to your chest, rounding through the back. And inhale, let's do the opposite of that. Slide your hands back, squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back, then lift your chest up. The elbows may even come past the torso here. And exhale, round in, chin comes to the chest, the gaze is to the navel. Inhale, the shoulders, lift your heart up to the sky. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 2 more of these. Observing how your breath drives the movement. And the movement assists the breath. Now come back up to center. forward and just slide your blanket or block out from underneath you. I'm going to come into butterfly pose. I'm just going to shift so you can see me from the side here. In our yin practice, the butterfly creates a diamond shape between the heels, the knees, and the groin. So you don't want your feet to be very close towards the inner thighs and groin. This is a great place to use your blanket. So if you have a blanket, which I hope you all were able to find something around the house, go ahead and unroll it a little bit, unfold it a little bit, and then roll it up like a burrito and slide the blanket underneath the knees. So the knees can be very supported. Now you don't have to do this. I do have, full disclosure, I do have a little knee injury, so I'm going to use a little support today. I had a bicycle accident. I'm okay, don't worry. So the soles of the feet will be together here. If you want a little bit more and your knees are feeling okay, even without the support, you can, instead of placing the blanket underneath the knees, you can place the blanket underneath your feet, and that's going to give you a little something, a little different sensation. But again, only if your knees and hips allow that opening. So once you're ready, you can sort of round forward. If you don't have a blanket, you can bring your forearms underneath your shins. You can also do this if you do have a blanket. So many options. This is really a time for you to observe your own practice, your bodies. You make concessions for your body. You listen to what your body needs, the messages, the signals that it sends. If you'd like, you can reach forward and zip up your toes. So you'll interlace one toe in between the next two. So just like if you were to clasp your hands, you'll do that with your toes. If you wear a lot of shoes, especially the pointy ones or any closed-toe shoe, that can be really beneficial for you. When you're ready, you'll just kind of begin to settle in. The head will relax here. If you need a little support, you can place your head on a block or just bend your elbows and use your hands to support the forehead or the chin. Some of us may start in a place and then feel ready to go deeper, so you always have that option to go a little bit deeper, remembering also that if you go too deep, you can always take a step back. This is a practice of allowing the body to open slowly. We bring stress to the body, to the ligaments and the tendons, so that we may create a little bit more space inside of our body and among the bones and the muscles. You relax your head. You begin to observe the breath even more clearly now that you're settled into your posture. The breath moves in through the nose and all the way down the spine to the base of the spine. And imagine it releasing from the base of the spine all the way up each vertebra and out the nose. Creating this rhythm, this pulsation. Notice the expansion of the rib cage as you inhale. And the relaxing sensations the exhales bring. Take a big inhale breath. And exhale, making a little bit more space and moving into that space. And slowly walk your hands in to round up, coming out of the posture, allowing the head to be the last thing to lift up. So the spine is stacked. And use the strength of your arms and pick your legs up. Placing your feet out wide on the mat, lean back and just allow the knees to fall side to side. Nice and slowly. We're actually creating stress on the ligaments and the tendons, the non-stretchy, soft tissue in the body. So muscles are stretchy, ligaments are not, so we stress them in order to bring some warmth to them. Allow circulation around the joints. Bring a little more mobility, a little more body awareness. Now come back to center. Go ahead and slide your blanket over to your left side. Straighten your right leg. And bend your left knee, and you can place your blanket underneath your knee, or again, you can not use a blanket at all. And make a little bit of space here. We're going to go in line with the hips. So as much space as you need. Another nice place for a blanket could be underneath your extended leg. When you feel ready, supported, just begin to walk your arms forward. You can keep your arms straight by locking out the elbows. And relax your head. Maybe you walk the arms even more forward, relaxing the head even further. Try to find a place in this shape that allows you to be able to breathe freely. So you're not being stuck in a shape where you can't breathe. You're not comfortable breathing because you're struggling, because you're trying so hard. If you're down low, relax the elbows. The forehead may come to the mat. The breath is easy and consistent.
might begin to observe the thoughts that come up. They are inevitable, especially in Yin where we are holding postures. Notice your thoughts. Observe them. And then allow them to just pass on by. If there's any sense of tension anywhere, breathe into that space. When we breathe into the tense spaces, we create this signal in our body. With the parasympathetic nervous system, a signal is sent from the brain. We focus in on a place and little nerve impulses are sent there. These impulses create heat. The heat is a warming effect and allows a little more space to open up. Expansion happens in warmth. Contraction happens with cold. You may even notice the temperature of the room that you're practicing in. Maybe you're inside or outside, you notice the temperature around you. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. And slowly walk your hands in to lift your chest up. Good. Lean back and extend your left leg. I'm just going to take it directly to the other side and bend your right knee and move slowly through these processes. So you're kind of like, you might feel stiff after these poses, so just kind of observe that. Let the left leg relax. Keep the shoulders in line with the torso, so we're not, or with the hips, so we're not twisting here. We're just going forward. Notice where you feel this. You may feel this in your hips. You may feel this in your legs. You may feel it in the spine, the torso. If at any point you feel pain, please do come out of the shape. If you have pain in any shape, feel free to send me a message and I will do my best to help you, to guide you. Once you've found kind of where your landing spot is for your shape, your posture, try to be as still as possible, reducing temptations to fidget. And fidgeting can kind of sneak up on you, so just kind of observe if you do start to fidget. You observe that in your body, your reaction to it. Give yourself an opportunity to learn about yourself even more. And practice willpower, contentment with what is, or santosha. This ability to find the peace with whatever is going on around you. There may be a lot going on around you today as you practice, or any time that you practice. I like to take the busyness as an opportunity to observe my reactions and how I react, and maybe even why I'm reacting that way. Just kind of sit with it. Usually I laugh about it. Take a big inhale breath. And release it on your exhale. Slowly making your way out of the posture. Pick your knees up with your hands, your strong arms. And just windshield wiper the legs, just bringing a little bit of movement into the hips here. Now our next posture is a pretty big one, so feel free to definitely even grab another blanket or a block if you need, using your cushion, your meditation cushion, if you need underneath your bottom. So if your low back kind of rounds when you sit down with your legs extended, then you'll definitely want to place a blanket underneath your bottom. We'll move into a straddle pose. So a blanket underneath your bottom can help you kind of rotate the pubic bone towards the floor. If your legs don't want to be straight here, you can take your blanket and unroll it open it up even more, and roll it up like a burrito. Again, but just a longer burrito, a burrito that you can share with your friends. And you can slide the blanket underneath the knees. So the knees are support. If you have blocks are great for underneath the knees, or you could use 2 blankets under the knees. Or just no blankets if you prefer, if you're okay sitting just like a straddle. Then go ahead and take your blanket out kind of in front of you. And don't try to go big here. You can if you want, but don't push it. The legs are extended out to the sides so that the opening, the movement happens at where the head of the femur bone moves around in the hip joint. So just kind of notice, this is a great place to kind of observe the body. One foot might be pointing up, the other foot might be kind of pointing forward. They both might be rolling forward or back.
This just gives you a little information about the shape of your skeleton, your bones, your wonderful bones. I'm just going to slide back a little bit, as you might be able to see the sun is creeping in on me. I'm going to keep my blanket out in front of me so that I may use it to rest on. So we'll just begin by kind of settling in with the legs, allowing the hips to be comfortable here. Relax the head. And eventually you may make your way down to your elbows. Maybe lowering your head down. You can create a little pillow with your hands, relaxing your head down as well. If you're not going all the way down, again, elbows onto your blanket or your block, and the hands can support the forehead or the chin. So you can use as much gravity or as little gravity as you would like. This can be the hardest shape to reduce fidgeting, because we are here for quite a bit of time. The thoughts will definitely start to roll like headlines on the printing press. The space starts to open up, and you may be able to move even deeper into this shape. Relaxing the muscles in the legs. Relax the ankles, the feet. Allow the back to just be its natural, comfortable shape. A little rounding here. The head relaxes down. Maybe you support it so it's up a little bit. Relax the shoulders. Bring space between the upper teeth and the lower teeth. And think about your intention. Think about the intention that you set. Maybe it's just one word or 2 words or short phrase that you might just want to repeat in your mind over and over. It's a few different messages. Just allow them to roll through your mind like a mantra. Checking back in every once in a while with your body. Notice if you're clenching or holding on to anything. Maybe begin to just release it, to practice that release. Visualizing tight areas in your mind's eye and breathing into those spaces.
Check in again. How are you doing? Then inhale deeply. Exhale fully. And really slowly come out of this, really slowly. Lifting your chest up. If you have a prop in front of you, slide it to the side and use the strength of your arms to pick your thigh bones up. Allow the knees to bend. Lean back and let the knees then fall side to side. Extend your legs out in front of you. Relax your feet once again. You can bring your blanket over and place it underneath your knees or underneath your bottom or both. Palms face up. If you'd like to practice with a mudra, Yang mudra is really nice here. Index finger comes into the root of the thumb. This mudra symbolizes our own self-knowledge. We have this intuition, this internal guide that gives us everything that we need. Relax the head. If your elbows aren't down, you can still practice the mudra, placing the backs of the hands on the floor. You can even cross your elbows here. Cross your forearms onto your thighs. Pinky, the fourth finger and the middle finger curl up towards the sky. The palm faces up towards you. Allow the inhales to bring that expansion. And then utilize the exhales to move into that new space. Finding comfort in the chaos. Take a big inhale. And exhale. And slowly lift your chest up. Release the mudra and just spread your fingers out wide. And do some little fists and spread out. Fists, spread out. Fists, spread out. Good. And then pick up your thigh bones again, bending the knees. I'm going to scooch forward so I can get my hands completely on the mat. Take your hands out behind you. The fingers point back towards you, so the
insides of the wrists are pointed towards the top edge of your mat. And bring your feet to hip distance. If you're not quite sure what that is, you can lean forward and measure it. It's a 2-fist width between your inner arches. Lean back. I always check my feet distance, actually. Push down with your hands, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and lift your chest up. Open your throat. And then slowly start to lift your hips up, grounding through the four corners of the feet. Lift through your outer hips more. Push the floor away from you with your hands. The shoulders come away from the ears. You can keep your head lifted if the neck prefers that, maybe neutral, or relax the head so the throat is completely open here. Lift your hips up even higher. The glutes start to engage a little bit here. The hamstrings start to energize. The breath is easy. Still, the breath is easy. If you went up too high, you'll know because you won't be able to breathe. This is a personal practice. Make sure to let go of comparisons to others and even to yourself. Go up a little higher, inhale, and slowly release back down to the mat on your exhale. Walk your feet forward a little bit and then just catch opposite elbows, wrists, or hands underneath the knees, behind the thighs. Let your head relax here. Release out of that. We're going to come on to our bellies. Again, moving slowly, moving thoughtfully and with awareness. Now, coming to your tabletop to start. Make sure you're in the center of your mat here. Come forward, bend your elbows straight back, and slowly lower your chest to the floor between your hands. The throat is open here. Shoulder blades glide down your back towards your hips. And then just straighten your legs out behind you. Lower the hips down. Relax the tops of the feet to the floor. Walk your hands forward, coming into Sphinx pose. The elbows will stack underneath the shoulders and bring the palms of your hands together. The fingers are spread out wide. So we meet here in Sphinx pose. You can always walk your elbows out a little bit further if this is too much compression on the lower back. Also, you may kind of gently press your pubic bone to the floor, and that will help also relieve anything that you might feel in the lower back. Let your head relax. Allow the breath to be easy. Now, for those of you that are a little more comfortable in this pose, in Sphinx pose, you can come into seal pose. You'll rotate the hands out like seal flippers, so the middle finger will point to the outer corners of your mat, and the thumb will point towards the top edge of your mat. And you can simply straighten your arms. So you'll use the stacking of the bones. You almost block out your arms here. You'll use the stacking of the bones to come into seal pose. Make sure your hands are gripped
either on your mat or somewhere where you're not sliding forward. You may even choose to walk your hands in even further. You don't have to draw the shoulders away from the ears here. You can kind of let them squinch up to the ears. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Begin to just get into this nice deep back bend. Really, it's opening also through the front of the hips. So if you do feel, again, if you feel everything kind of going on in the low back, come and take it back a notch. Take it back a notch. Might even feel the opening happening in the abdominal wall. The diaphragm will be behaving just a little bit more differently here. Take a big inhale. And exhale, slowly come out of this, nice and slow. And walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your big toes together and come into a wide-legged child's pose. Nice and slow once again, so the spine can be really elongated here. Not round, just long. From here, lower your elbows down, bring your palms together and bend your elbows so the thumbs come to the base of the skull. Giving a little something extra to the elbow joints and the shoulders. And release your arms out long. Pull yourself up to tabletop. Sit on your hip and then sit on your bottom. Extend your legs out long. Come to your elbows and then lower all the way down onto your back for Shavasana. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. I will be here with you for about a minute. Lengthening through the back of the neck, the shoulders relax down, the palms face up. The arms are away from the body enough so you may allow for natural cooling. The legs are separated. The feet are flopped out to the side.
thank you so much for being here with me today. Please stay in Shavasana for as long as you need, and I'll see you here again next time. I appreciate you. Namaste.